Ellie, Miss Commissioner, how are we doing?
Hey Dave, you don't have to use titles around here, right? Like, we're friends. You don't have to call me that.
Yeah, I suppose so. We ready for the match?
Yeah, man, I'm really excited. I'm, bringing some heat, I think. Maybe?
Wouldn't expect anything else.
Of course.
Look, Ellie, we gotta talk.
Oh, God.
You've seen what I've been going through. What is going on? Look, I need answers here. Enough is enough.
What do you mean? What sort of answers?
I mean, look, you've seen the stuff I've been posting. You've seen the threats I've been getting. You've seen my friends going missing. You're one of the commissioners. You've got to know what's happening at some point.
You come to the wrong person for answers, man. Like, you've seen my record this season, right? You think I'm in on this?
Yeah, I suppose that makes some sense. I mean, I heard the DLPD have been asking you questions. That detective been trying to get in contact with you. Has anything come up from that?
I mean, they've been sniffing around and been down my throat, but honestly, I got nothing. Like, there's just nothing. Nothing makes sense.
Okay, look. He's given me a bit of information. All I need to know. Look, all I need to know, and you've got to know this. Can you at least tell me who was in charge of the scheduling for this season?
Scheduling? Oh, that was Jack.
Huh. Oh, the other commissioner. I didn't think you'd throw him under the bus that quickly.
Oh, no. The other Jack. The Don Fanatic.
What did you say?
The Don you know Jack? Jack. The short one.
He was in charge of scheduling?
I mean, listen, Jack and I, we kind of took the PPL and, well, we just kind of took all the glory from him, didn't we? So when he came back out of retirement, it was kind of hard to say no. So we kind of went with it. We didn't really think of anything, just...
Look, it's going to be
Why?
okay.
What's up?
I'm back for good now. I'll see how reaching out to the commissioners and finding out some information.
Ellie, I gotta go.
Dave, no, Shroom!
Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and welcome to my Week 7 battle from the PPL Season 2. Yes indeed. Now, last time we did manage to get a pretty useful win, taking us to 4-2. We are very close to guaranteeing playoffs, but things don't get any easier. Something of a disturbing revelation to find out that we need to look at what the Don Fanatic has been doing with the scheduling. I had a word with Ellie, who's actually our Week 7 opponent, and some worrying things have come to light. Doesn't feel great that someone who said they were going to help us might have some involvement in all the weird stuff that's going on in the PPL, but we just got to move and we got to do the best we can. As I say, we are taking on Ellie, one of the commissioners, and her team, Shanghai Dreigons. Now, Ellie has had a rough season. A lot of things have gone against her, not much has gone her way, but there's nothing more dangerous than a cornered animal, and she is a very good player. She is something of a bogey player for me, so we're just going to have to see what we can do. Her team she can pick from is Dragapult, Iron Hands, Heatran, Landorus, what's that thing called? Araquanid, the Serperior, Delphox, Hisuian, Quillfish, Lycanroc, Duskform, Trapinch, Granbull, and Grottle. Terra Captain's there. The Araquanid can go Water, Electric, Fairy. The Delphox can go Fire, Fighting, Fairy. This is a very rough team to have to face. She's got two of the best threats this generation in Draft League in the form of Dragapult and Iron Hands. Then she's just got the Gen 6 core of Landorus, and Heatran, and then just a bunch of threats and bulky stuff that I don't really want to have any part of. But let's get into the team we're going to be using. And first up, we have Garchomp. We are bringing Scarfchomp for the first time, which is exciting. Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Poison Jab, Outrage on there. Excuse me, max attack, 168, speed, Jolly Nature, the rest into HP. That's allowing me to outpace a Scarfed Landorus Therian on her side, which could be a very good bring for her. Ground is something that my team does not deal with amazingly, and Landorus has the coverage to do a lot of nasty things to me, as you can see the moves on there. Outrage is just on there in case I need a more powerful stab form than Dragon Claw. Next up, we have Expert Belt Mew. This is Agility 3 attacks Mew, Earth Power Ice Beam Psychic, max special attack Modest, 68 into speed after an agility. That is allowing me to outpace everything on Ellie's team, including a few potential Scarfers. The rest goes into defense, so I can take, for example, a Landorus's knockoff, maybe similar kind of thing from the Iron Hands, maybe even a hit from the Arachnid in a pinch. But Ellie's team has a horrible weakness to what we like to call Mamoswine coverage. That combination of ground and ice hits everything on her team super effectively, apart from two things, which Psychic will do a nice little number on anyway. So that's thinking behind Mew. Next up, we have Rocky Helmet Sinistra with Heatproof. Max HP, 208 defense with a positive nature, some nominal into Spadef as well, and summon speed to avoid those creeps that she might do. Shadow Ball, Terror Blast, Calm Mind, and Strength Sap. Once again, Ghost and Fairy coverage is equally, well not equally, but it's nearly as good into Ellie's team as Ice and Ground. And with some Calm Minds up, Sinistra can do some real work here. Rocky Helmet there, chip down that Iron Hands, which this will be one of my premier switch-ins into. Then we have Assault Vest, Samurott Hisui, Ceaseless Edge, Flip Turn, Sucker Punch, and Razor Shell. We have max attack 192, speed Jolly. The rest goes into Spadef. This is going to allow me to outpace a max invested offensive Heatran, which is not out of the ballpark for Ellie to bring. This is something that she could very well want to bring. I can see Heatran coming, but we'll get onto that later. Hysterian Samurai is just really nice here. Ceaseless Edge, very good into Ellie's team. Not necessarily for its damaging ability, but she has no hazard removal on her entire squad. So having hazards up is going to be so very useful. Speaking of hazards, we also have Fortress, our 5th team member. This is just a max HP, max defense Fortress going on here with the leftovers. Rapid Spin, Ice Spinner, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock. Again, Rock's going to be very useful against her team. I need the spin on here. She doesn't have a massive amount. Well, she has a decent amount of hazards, actually. Between the Quillfish, the Landorus, and some of her more offensive potential rock setters. The main issue I really have is that Arachnid and Sticky Web. I do not want Sticky Web up. That would be a major problem for me. So Fortress's main job is to make sure that that Sticky Web does not stay up if she brings the Arachnid. Ice Spinner on there over the likes of Volt Switch. Ellie has shown herself to not be afraid to bring in her Dragapult as a spin blocker. So I need a way to hit that. Ice Spinner is going to be just that. Final team member, and this is one I really want to do work. This is Defensive Adrenaline Orb Okidogi. We have 68 attack, 196 defense, 244 speed with a Jolly Nature. What is this allowing us to do? Well, Gunk Shot, Drain Punch, Knock Off, and Ice Punch hit her team very hard indeed. Ellie has 3 Intimidate users on her team, and given that I have the likes of Garchomp, Hisuian Samurott, Entei, maybe even a physical Mew, she's going to want to bring at least one of them. Okidogi has the ability Guard Dog, which means that when you get intimidated, you get an attack boost instead of a raise. But I've tested this, and Adrenaline Orb still functions as normal. I think her most likely Intimidate bring is going to be the Landorus. If the Landorus comes in and gets an Intimidate off on us, then we will get an attack raise and a speed raise. This will allow us, with that investment, to outpace Adamant Scarf Landorus. If she is Jolly Scarf Landorus with that defense investment, Earthquake does not kill us. If she is her own Mirror Herb to get the Intimidate back, and she's predicted this kind of thing, we will outspeed her and kill her with the Ice Punch. I'm really hoping this can do a lot of work. It's a potential endgame sweeper along with the Mew. So that's the team I'm going to be bringing, looking at what Ellie can do. The Dragapult is coming, the Iron Hands is coming. I would expect the Arachnid to be coming. Honestly, I can see her bringing like the top, like most of the top 6. I could see her bringing Heatran, if for nothing else than the psychological aspect of it. I've had issues with Ellie running Heatran before, and it has been a problem for me, so I could see her doing that. Webs are super useful for her. Serperior might come. I don't think she'll be bringing the Quillfish, just because Okidogi is a hard shutdown to it and can set up on it. The Delphox is a possibility. Trapinch, always there as an option. Most of the things I'm expecting are that top 5. Dragapult, Iron Hands, Heatran, Landorus, and Araquanid. Any of the rest could realistically be anything. But that is the team. I take no pleasure in trying to destroy Ellie. It's looking like she doesn't actually have anything to do with whatever's messed up with the PPL this season. Looks like it might be someone a little bit closer to home. But it is what it is, and we've got to do what we've got to do. So let's get right into the battle, see how things play out. So, the battle going to start against Ellie. As you can see, she has brought Granbull, Heatran, Iron Hands, Delphox, Serperior, and Dragapult. A lot of what I was not expecting. The Granbull is an interesting one. That's her Intimidate user. No Araquanid is huge for me. No Webs going up on my side is great. No Trapinch is fun, if nothing else. But yeah, I'm a little bit more comfortable looking at this team. No Landorus is nice to see, in a way. But yeah, I'm looking at this and thinking that I want to get my Terror off as quick as possible with my Sinistcha, so that's going to be my lead. Let's see what Ellie does in response. So, battle going to be beginning against Ellie and the Shanghai Dreigons, one of the commissioners of the league. She is going to lead with her Serperior. I'm going to lead, as I say, with my Sinistcha. Now, I'm fairly happy with this lead off. I could try Calm Minding on her immediately, but I think what I really want to do is just get some damage on this thing early game with the Shadow Ball. It could give her a special defense boost with the contrary, but honestly, Garchomp is probably going to be my main way of shutting this thing down. So, yeah, Fortress would also have been a fairly decent lead here. Could have got some nice Ice Spinner damage to get my rocks up, but I am just going to stay in, not Terra, because, you know, I do want to be resisting that Leaf Storm. So I'm not going to Terra, I'm just going to go for Shadow Ball and see what we can do. So, she is going to go for Leaf Storm, and that is going to do so much more damage than I was anticipating. And looking at this thing, Shadow Ball is going to come in and do not a huge amount, maybe about 25 to 30%. That, right there, is Specs Leaf Storm Serperior. And now she is Specs with +2. And essentially what has to happen here is, I have to sack something, because I do not have a switch into this Specs at +2. Unfortunately, that is going to have to be my Fortress. Now, Fortress's utility is severely lessened, given that there are no Webs that I have to worry about. So, if I have to sack something, it's going to have to be this Mon. Quad Resisted does not matter to Specs +2, which is now Specs +4. Fortress gets some leftovers, which I can absolutely guarantee you will not be saving it. And in comes Leaf Storm, and that's going to kill Fortress. I did go for Ice Spinner, just in case she missed a Leaf Storm. I've had decent luck with that against Frank a few weeks ago. But Ellie's going to take first blood here. Fortress goes down, and now I have to react to a +6 Specs Leaf Storming Serperior. Now, nothing I have takes this hit, obviously. I'm going to go into Garchomp. This absolutely telegraphs the fact that I'm scarfed, but I don't have a choice in the matter. What I would love to do here is double into my Okidogi, because this is going to be a prime time for the Granbull to come in. She's going to want to save this, because the fact that Garchomp has come in means it's scarfed. Once Garchomp goes down, this thing just beats me, straight up. There's nothing I can do about it. So realistically, what I have to do is just attack the thing that's in front of me. This thing is far too much of a threat for me to mess around with. I can't be making doubles right about now. Going into my Okidogi to try and get that set up with what I'm predicting is going to be the Granbull switch. But if she doesn't play ball, she just wins, essentially. Or at the very least, takes out another member of my team. She is going to withdraw. That's fine. You know, the Granbull is going to come in because, realistically, it's possible that I want to just go for Outrage and take out the Serperior. As it is, I am going to go for Poison Jab. Now, I'm at -1. I am jolly natured. That's still going to do about 40%, which is very nice. And now I need to react to a Granbull in front of me. Sinister is going to be the play. Fairly useful switch into this guy. I'm very defensive. It looks like she is too. Actually going to go for the Super Fang here, which is really nice that I didn't Terra early. So I'm immune to that. And now she really has to get on out of there. Strength Sap is probably my play, but I could very well Calm Mind as well. If I can get Calm Minds up and still not Terra, that Heatran isn't even that much of a problem to me. So Ellie's going to get out of there with her Granbull, and she is going to make the switch into Potato, and that is indeed the Heatran. Now, I go for a Calm Mind here. Now, with my... I've got a little bit of special defense investment, but with Heat Proof, it's actually safer for me not to Terra, because her going for like Lava Plume against a Heat Proof Grass type is actually going to do less damage than her potential Flash Cannon to my Terra'd version into Fairy. So I'm actually going to stay in here, not go for Terra, and I can either Strength Sap, because Heatran's natural physical attack isn't horrible, or I can go for Shadow Ball and start trying to get damage on this thing. She's actually going to go for Magma Storm. She's going to miss, and here's some tech, because that is going to proc her Blunder Policy. Wasn't anticipating that, but it does allow me to just go for a Strength Sap. As I say, Heatran's physical attack is not horrible. This is going to get me up to near full, if not actually at full. And as you'll see, it gets me there. Now she is at +2 speed, she's going to be outpacing me, but I'm at +1/+1 with Calm Mind, and now is when I can start attacking. So, she's going to land the Magma Storm this time, but at +1 with my Heat Proof ability, that's going to do under half to me, which is nice. I'm going to be able to go for a Shadow Ball here. As you'll see, that is going to do, again, just under half. Magma Storm is going to actually take me into the range where she might be able to take me out with another one. However, because I haven't Terra'd, I'm still a Ghost type. That means her Magma Storm trapping doesn't affect Sinister. So this is a perfect time for me to just switch on out of there and go into my Samurott. This will take a Magma Storm very nicely, and I can start getting my hazards up, which is super important. She's going to actually probably see it coming. She's a better player than that is Ellie. She's going to go for a Stealth Rocks and get those up, noting that I don't have any removal on my side anymore. But what I can do is start going for Ceaseless Edge. I could take her out with Razor Shell very effectively here, but that just brings right back in the Serperior. So my play every time is to just go for Ceaseless Edge. She's actually going to go for Steel Beam, which is interesting. That does a crit, which is unfortunate. It takes me down to under half. And Ceaseless Edge from there will easily take out the Heatran. Unfortunately, Flame Body is going to proc. So now I'm burned, but crucially, the Heatran is down, and I have a layer of hazards up. And in a move that will surprise absolutely no one, in comes the Serperior. Now she's going to take a little bit of hazard chip. Samurott is burned at under half, so its utility is pretty much down the toilet as well. What I can do from here is just get a little bit of chip damage with Sucker Punch, knowing she's going to take me out, and then go into Garchomp, guaranteeing that this thing is in range from a Poison Jab. And that's what's going to happen. Sucker Punch is going to do a little chunk, which is fine, I guess. In comes the Leaf Storm. That is, of course, going to take out my Samurott from there. And another KO not for Serperior, which is proving to be a huge issue for me. Thankfully, Garchomp is able to revenge with the Choice Scarf, but this is where I'm going to put in a little bit of a plan. This thing is still super useful for her, especially if she can chip down my Okidogi. So what I'm actually going to do here is pull a double and try and get that Granbull activation of the Guard Dog and Adrenaline Orb going on my Okidogi, predicting that she's going to want to save this and switch it out. So, Garchomp is going to get on out of there. I am going to go into my Okidogi here, and as you'll see, Ellie is not playing ball. She just goes straight for Leaf Storm, and that very nearly Okos my Okidogi from there. I was annoyed that she didn't take the bait, because that would have been a huge moment for me to get basically a Dragon Dance Okidogi up. But at this point, Okidogi is done for. Ellie's going to be able to go for the Leaf Storm and take it out without doing any damage to her team. That is a huge loss for us, and that is our third Mon gone. Now Garchomp has to hit the field again, and this time I have to just attack what is in front of me. I don't have a choice. I am going to go for the poison jab, just in case this time she wants to get clever and go into the Granbull. But realistically, this Serperior has to go. And go it does. Poison jab, going to come in here and take out the Serperior. Finally, this thing's reign of terror has come to an end. But now, Ellie has all the initiative in the world and she can go into any number of things. And one of those things is going to be the Dragapult. Just a problem for me. I'm locked in, she knows this, she knows I'm scarfed. At this point, we're already kind of getting towards endgame. I have 2.5 mons left. I'm going to switch on out of there. I'm going to go into my Sinistra. Essentially at this point we are sacking Sinistra and relying on my big hitters. As you'll see, Ellie is going to just go straight for the Shadow Ball. I'm not terrored. I don't think it would matter if I was. That is going to take out my Sinistra from there. It's done a good job of chipping some stuff down, but now we're in a problem because it's like 4 versus 2. Back in comes my Garchomp. It's the only thing that can really deal with this guy. I'm kind of hoping that she's locked into a move. Ideally for me here, she would be Specs. That would actually be really good. But either way, it's 4 versus 2. She has to kind of get out of there. This thing is too valuable for her. But, very crucially, that Serperior is gone. And right now, Earthquake is looking mighty spammable. And that is going to be my play. Ellie is going to withdraw, make the good play, go into her Granbull. She is essentially sacking it here, or trying to get a nice free switch into a Dragon-type move. But, even with the Intimidate, with the range of held this thing is at plus the spikes, Earthquake is going to be a 2-hit KO, which is lovely. It means I can just go for Earthquake again, and not Garchomp's second KO of the game, but now we are very much endgame territory. As you'll see, Granbull is going to go down to the Earthquake. Now it is 3 on 2. Ellie has Delphox, Iron Hands, and Dragapult left. I have Garchomp, and I have Mew. In is going to come the Dragapult. Now, I am scarfed. Unless she is 2, I will be outpacing, and my basic plan here is, what I need to happen, is to go for Earthquake, get chip damage on this guy, and hope that she clicks Draco Meteor. As you'll see, I'm going to go for Earthquake. I'm at -1, this is still going to do a good amount. She is going to go for Draco Meteor, and now I have to hope that she is not Eject Pack, because then she'd be switching out and reset herself. I need her to be at -2, as you'll see she is not Eject Pack. I need this. This is where I either win or lose the game, because now I go into Mew. She is at -2. It's looking very much like she is also Specs. She is not taking me out from this range. This is my only chance to go for an agility. As you'll see, Ellie is going to withdraw her Dragapult. She is going to go into her Delphox right about now. As I, with my Mew, am going to go for agility. Now, she proves herself to be heavy-duty boots, because she didn't take any spikes damage. Right now, I kind of have to just lock in on Earth Power and hope that I can do enough damage to her, and most importantly, hope that she doesn't terror. I'm going to go for Earth Power. Now, this won't KO her because of the heavy-duty boots, but it does enough damage to the point where it will take her out next turn. She's going to Encore me. I guess she was predicting maybe a Calm Mindset. That would have been a nightmare. But, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to be able to take her out with the subsequent Earth Power. She is going to Terra Evolve here, or Terrastalize. That doesn't matter in terms of my Expert Belt. I'm Encored into Earth Power right about now. But she is Terra Fairy, and that is going to take her out. So, Terra Evolution, I keep saying Evolution, that's not the right word. It's going to go off, Earth Power's going to come in, that's going to take out the Delphox, and now it is 2 against 1. I'm locked in on Earth Power, but one of her mons is weak to that, and the other one is at very low health. In comes Dragapult. As you'll see, takes a bit of hazard damage. We know this thing isn't scarfed, we know we outspeed it, and from that range, Earth Power is going to take out the Dragapult. Down it goes, that is huge. We are still Encored in, but we only have 1 turn of the Encore left, and all Ellie has left is Iron Hands. In it comes, as you'll see, this thing is monstrously fat. It takes hits all day, every day. It will take this hit, but I have hefty investment in my physical defense. I'm just checking my Encore turns. I have 1 left. I have to go for Earth Power. I don't have a choice, but I have hefty physical defense investment. Earth Power's going to come in. That is going to do over half of what she has left. She's going to go for Ice Punch. That is going to do very little damage indeed. And this is where my Encore ends. What that means is that I can happily just go for Psychic here. That's going to get an Expert Belt boost. It doesn't really matter. That's going to take out the Iron Hands. Down it goes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the game. So, what a game. Very, very good game, that one. We take the closest of 1-0s. Yeah, that was a really rough start. I was absolutely thrown by Spec Serperior. It turned out, I mean, with hindsight and looking at the battle, it was a really good bring. It put huge pressure on my team, and basically whenever it came in, something was dying. Excuse me. All I had was Scarf Chomp. That turned out to be a really good bring as well. Like, if I'd have just been running my usual kind of scale shot set, then essentially Serperior would have 6-0'd me from the start. Or at least could have. Yeah. End game, very, very good stuff to see Mew getting picking up a 3-for with the agility set, which I'm happy I brought in the end. The Iron Hand going for Ice Punch, I don't begrudge Ellie that. She's had a really, really rough, rotten season in terms of luck going against her. It would have been kind of justice for her if that had gotten the freeze, but in the end, Mew was able to pull through. So, what does that mean for the league? Well, that puts us at 5-2 with a very healthy, I think, +11 differential, which is monumentally good. That pretty much locks us in for playoffs. It's going to take something crazy for us not to be able to get through into playoff contention at this point. And we need playoffs. We need to go deep in this competition. We need to go as far as we can. You know, it's looking like Ellie, maybe both commissioners had nothing to do with all the weird, strange stuff that's been going on in the PPL for me and for the council and for everyone. It's looking like the threat might be elsewhere. I'm going to have to see what I can get out of Jack, lead on Fnatic, the one who was in charge of the scheduling, which was the area that it turns out might have been where the issues were coming from. It's not a thought I relish, but we'll see what the DLPD can drag up on him. Weird times, guys. Weird times. But we move. As I say, 5-2, +11, really good differential and record to be at. Next week is the last week of the regular season. Who knows what's going to happen in terms of the conspiracies going on with the league, but we just have to focus up because once again we've been put up against a friend. For our final game, we have to face off against Danny Kiluaboom in the NJ Goldengos. A good friend, someone I don't want to have to fight. But again, it's the position we've been put in by the scheduling, so we'll just have to see what happens. Remember to check out links to Ellie and everyone else in the description. Ellie makes wonderful, wonderful content, very funny. She's a very, very good friend of mine. No matter what happens in leagues and controversies, she remains a very good friend, so make sure you check out her stuff. But I've rambled on for long enough, so I'm going to get out of here. My final thank you to you all for watching, and I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.